about my love. Wasn't it enough? Just let me know so I can.
I was going to ask this for Sora, but I want to save you for last, Sora, because you may be a little biased. You may be a little biased. I know Don's a little bit more level-headed. Don is a man by the number. But let me start off with Jeff.
Oh, this will be fun.
All right, Philadelphia Eagles last year had a spectacular season.
What are you
To
talking
cap
about?
it off with the Super Bowl loss, but nonetheless, the team has a lot of promise. Now this year, there's a lot of expectation for them to build off that success. But let me ask you the question: can the Philadelphia Eagles realistically improve off of last year with a new offense and defensive coordinator?
Absolutely, they
Go ahead,
can.
Jeff.
Absolutely.
I was like, hold on.
Whoa.
No cursing, no cursing.
I was like, where's the censor button? Got it.
Jeff got that Philly pride in him right now. That's what it is. Go ahead, Jeff.
Absolutely. Yeah, here's my reasoning.
He's an
Your offensive-
honorary Philly fan.
Your new offensive coordinator is Brian Johnson. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't he your quarterback coach last
Yes.
year?
Correct.
I'm not worried about the offense just for that, because literally Jalen Hurts still has his quarterback coach. He's now the offensive coordinator right now.
Yes, correct.
It's gonna be more of the same. Read options, play action, take it over the top. You have AJ Brown. You still have Devontae Smith. What is absolutely gonna change? Okay, you don't have Miles Sanders anymore. Oh, you traded for DeAndre Swift. Boom, there's your replacement right then and there. There, and then also defensively, defensive coordinator though. This is a little bit of the growing pains I have. Your new defensive coordinator, Sean Desai. I hope I said that correctly.
You did.
He had 1 year stint as a defensive coordinator with the Chicago Bears. In your defense last year, correct me if I'm wrong, were the number one in total sacks for correct. Your defense was monstrous. Who'd you lose? Okay, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Whatever. Move on. Do you still have Darius Slay? You still have Darius Slay. Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
And look at your draft. You're now the Georgia Bulldogs. Jalen Carter on the defense.
It still hurts. I'm happy, but it hurts. It's a stain on my pride.
So your love for the Eagles trumps your hatred for Georgia.
Does it really?
Come on. Your defensive line is going to be solid. I will admit, offensively, I am not worried at all. Defensively, there are going to be a little bit of growing pains, but I still expect that defense to be going after the quarterback, crushing the quarterback, and still being a monster on the sacks. The sack total might be toned down just a tad bit because you can't expect that year after year. But in terms of just pure defense, Sean Desai, give it 3 weeks, and then they'll get to the new scheme, new system, and boom, they'll be right back where they should be, like they were last year.
All right, listen, man. From your lips to the big guy's ears, Don, the more level-headed, more analytical fan. Let me get your thoughts. Realistic.
You're treating me like I'm Hayden here, man.
I'm not. But again, like I said, Don is more level-headed. My guy goes by the numbers. So let me ask you, with all the expectations that are ahead of the Eagles, do you think they can realistically improve off what they did last season with a brand new offense and defensive coordinator?
Well, it's all in how you define improvement, okay? Basically, I think their record is not going to be as good as last year, but the offense has improved, and the defense, I think, on an overall basis, changed very little. It improved in some places, stayed the same in some, couple might be a little less, but overall, it's pretty much the same. They had the number 3 offense in the NFL last year. They had the number 2 defense in the NFL last year. They will both stay in the top 5 this year, no doubt. The players for the last couple years have bought into what Nick Sirianni has talked about in the locker room, his coaching philosophy. They bought in. Now it's time for the new coordinators to do the same thing. And I don't think that's going to be an issue. So I don't think there's going to be any problem. They will improve as a team, although their record won't be quite as good.
Listen, Don, that's why I come to you, because I myself, as an Eagles fan, am on the ledge. But let me get to Sora, because the reason why I say this, Sora, why I left you last, because we know there's a lot behind it. Sora, You're a Florida fan.
I'm the
You
problem
talk about
child.
where Johnson was the coach for. You have love for the team. But let me ask you, Sora. Shane Steichen, years of, being an offensive coordinator. Although Gannon, 2 years in, still had experience. Now we're back at square one. We have no experience with the offensive and defensive coordinator. Do you realistically expect any success or an improvement of what the Eagles did last year? Now, what they did last year was go to the Super Bowl. They had a great season. We talked about the defense. We talked about the offense numbers. Do you think there can be improvement off of what was done last season with these two new coordinators?
I do believe that yes, they will kind of have some. I can agree. Record wise, probably it could be exactly the same. We'll get to record predictions later in just a few. It could be less than. I mean, looking at the defensive, obviously, Sean Desai, you don't got much, but the players are bought in, and it was kind of the same with, what's kind of like how Jeff said. Yes, you gain pieces, so he's got the players. He doesn't have that bad of a defensive roster to kind of get into the groove of things. Yes, you can point out, a hole in the linebacker, safety. That's kind of the main concern right now. I mean, if you got a dominant pass rush, though, I agree with Don. I do feel like they both offense and defense will stay in top 5. And I do think the pass rush is going to help Sean Desai. I mean, again, going back to us being the Georgia Bulldogs.
I know.
It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. There's a reason why pride is a deadly sin, bro. It hurts.
I understand. I'm a TCU fan. That loss still hurts.
Listen, at least you don't have to deal with these players on your team. I have to see them daily.
Hey, Jalen Carter, nod for defensive rookie of the year, maybe.
At least you didn't pick up my quarterback and slung him over his shoulder like you did with LSU, so I'll take it. But yeah, no, defensive wise, he's got a dominant pass rush to help him out. Again, all the players are kind of bought in. I think you will, obviously see a different scheme. I think he can be better than Gannon. That could also just be the hatred of Gannon in my heart. Offensive wise, I won't even be the bias part. But yes, I do think that they will be the same because I look at this familiarity with Jalen Hurts, and before Nick Sirianni, Hurts never had the same offensive play caller. You're keeping the same, not much is changing, and you look at what he did with Florida. Look at what he did with Kyle Pitts now, though. You're going to get Dallas Goedert even more involved now. Also, there were times last year where we were getting a little frustrated with the screens. You didn't really see a lot of that with Brian Johnson. So I think you might see less of those, which, sometimes good, sometimes bad. But yeah, I can agree with Don. I do think they will both be top 5.
I wish I shared everyone's enthusiasm on the panel right now. Eagle fans, come a little closer. I honestly think we're going to have more growing pains than you're ready
Dang
for.
it.
It's okay. We're split
It didn't
screen.
work.
We're going to have some growing pains. I think specifically on the offensive side of the ball, we're going to be a little out of sync. Defensively, I think we'll be in tune. I think we might be even better. But my worry is with our new offensive coordinator. We all know there is a long history. I've explained it numerous times. I won't go into length. But I think the inexperience will show. I think at a certain point in the season, Nick Sirianni is going to have to take over play calling. It's going to be a mess. Hopefully the Eagles can, continue to go on. The machine can keep on going. But I don't think the offense is going to be as powerful as it was last season. Again, we talked about the turnover at the running back position. We're talking about Swift and Penny, but we still don't know if they can, maintain a full season healthy. That's a big if. We're talking about the receiving core, but they're under a new offensive coordinator. We don't really know what they're going to look like. Again, we have a lot of trust because they're very talented players. They can mask a lot of issues. But like I said, I don't expect to be at a bang bang. We're going to be, top 5, top 10. I expect things to progress slowly. Hopefully, at the end of the season, we're at where we need to be. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be as easy as everyone thinks it is.
I will say, even again, going back to what he did with Florida, how, tight end wise got involved with
much
Kyle
before?
Pitts. Now you're looking at Dallas Goedert. It was the same thing with kind of using the running backs in the passing game. So that's where I kind of expect Swift to get his bread and butter at as well, right there.
Yep.
Or later on, this is where if we had gotten Austin Eckler, Brian Johnson would have been like, bet. This is my time to shine. He'd have been like, we're running the wheel route, nothing but the wheel route.
Right.
Screenplays, real routes, you name it.
I think that was one of the issues the Eagles had again. We are where we are. It is what it is. But I think the Eagles they were over eager in getting their running backs as early as they did.
Again,
They're still
quite
quality
literally, if there's an injury that happens during training camp, for a fact how he's like, all right, time to buy in.
What's going to be Kareem Hunt?
Get Dalvin Cook.
Available, the cheapest. It's Kareem Hunt. He's the bargain brand right now.
What is he asking for?
He's going to ask for maybe 2. That's all he was getting last year.
Kareem Hunt would be
Kareem Hunt
insane.
is the bargain
That is
value. I don't know why he's available. I don't know why Dalvin Cook is available. I don't even know why Ezekiel Elliott, let's be honest, why he's available. He's not the best running back, but he's better than some running backs that are currently on rosters right now.
They're waiting for injuries to
Exactly. Injuries in the training camp. And I get
It's another. Listen, the whole thing with the running backs is another issue. I can talk about for a whole.
we
show.
did. We talked about it last week.
But yeah, we won't go there.